Top of the morning to you, lads. How are y'all doing? I just rolled out of bed, man. My neck's stiff. Everything be stiff on Rosie this morning. Let's get out of my bed and head into the kitchen so I can hear my voice echo a little bit more. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Rosie here, and I play Dead by Daylight, so you don't have to. I think we're 2 days late here. That's all right. Shoot me, guys. I have this thing called a job. It's interesting. I know Scott Junn doesn't have one, but I do. So I was a little late, but that's all right. That's all right, lads. I'm here now. You think I was gonna not review this shit? Just getting the essentials, bro. You know how it is. Welcome to Dead by Daylight's main developer update. Oh my goodness. Quality of life improvements for existing content. Oh, good. Excellent. We'll start with Chucky. Decreased hidey-ho cooldown to 12 seconds was 18 seconds. Okay. Change. Chucky can only scamper while performing a slice and dice attack. And just like that, a already situational ability is now dead. Scamper, bro. Now, to be fair, the way I always played Chucky was kind of in line with what they are trying to do here, because I saw the writing on the wall. Didn't they nerf scampering from the PTV as well? Like, didn't they, like, I saw kind of the writing on the wall with Scamper. I kind of knew it was only a matter of time. I don't understand how Chucky going under the pallet is broken in OP, but Wesker going above the pallet with his bound, which is basically the same thing. I don't understand how Wesker gets to keep it, and Chucky, it has to go. Like, I don't understand this shit, bro. Well, you could say that Wesker has to use his bound to use the power, but what happens when Wesker goes over the pallet? His power immediately is burned. I don't know. Why get rid of it on Chucky? Why completely destroy it? Maybe you could make a scamper put the power in cooldown if you really want to nerf it so fucking bad. He can only do one scamper and then his power goes on cooldown. Why does your brain immediately go to get rid of it? Why does your fucking shit, small-ass, tiny brains over there at Behavior Interactive Studios immediately go straight to get rid of it? Chucky, man, he's too good, man. He's too good. We already had to nerf the shit out of his power because he can do 180s because we're stupid game designers. So we had to nerf him. But he's still too good, man. He can still scamper under the pants, man. That's too good, bro. Chucky's scamper could sometimes lead to unavoidable hits, man. Since survivors cannot possibly get someplace safe, man. We want to shift this gameplay, man. Like, ridiculous, bro. I don't understand, again, I know Wesker's power is primarily used for, insane hug tech. I don't know if they deleted it on him. I try to avoid these top tiers, man. They give you a bad look at the game, and we're going to talk about that. But I don't understand why that's what their mind goes to. Decrease the time it takes for Scamper 1.3 to 1.4. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That could be 1.0 and it doesn't matter. Because the issue is when you come out of a Scamper now, you're still going to immediately chain the next slice and dice, which you can only do at a certain angle. So scampering is garbage. How many times have you scampered with slice and dice and gotten a hit afterwards? I mean, it's happened, but it's rare, niche, situational, and basically the survivor that you're hitting is always bad because they're always cutting to the angles that you can actually hit them. Right? So, trash. So, I'm not going to say Chucky is dead because I still believe that slice and dice is a good power with free hug tech even the console player has access to. So I don't think, the character isn't dead. And the way I played him, again, was always in line with this because I saw the writing on the wall with Scamper as soon as I knew about what it did. And they nerfed it from PTV. I never really used it. I started to kind of experiment with it as soon as I thought it was safe. And as soon as I thought it was safe, it's instantly now dead. So, there you go. Chucky took a nerf. This changes a nerf. Chucky is nerfed. The 12 seconds will be nice for admittedly for my own playstyle on him, but the character was nerfed. And like, again, I don't understand. And again, free hits, like, there's, what about Legion's free hits, bro? Like I don't understand why free hits is something that is so inconsistently enforced among the roster. Like, why? You could, I don't get it. Bad change on Chucky. Bubba, increased chainsaw sweep duration to 2.5 seconds per token. Ooh. Increased chainsaw sweep movement speed to 5.35 was 5.2. Ooh. Booba! Decreased collision detection to help him navigate tight spaces. Ooh. Increased base tantrum to 3. No, decreased base tantrum to 3 was 5. Several add-ons have been adjusted accordingly. Booba get buffs for more cookies! To reduce Booba's dependence on add-ons, we've taken into apart the effects of the most popular add-ons and incorporated them into the base kit. So hopefully you don't need to do fucking double chili. Hopefully you don't have to do double chili. And by decreasing his movement speed, you can potentially get rid of the iridescent. Because at least I found on console especially that the iridescent was the best way to actually maneuver the character along with play with your food again on him. Because you could like make up for the speed penalty and then still get some other shit. But the increased movement speed anyway could also mean that the decrease on the iridescent doesn't mean as much anymore, right? So a good bust for Bubba. You can now run things like the regeneration charge add-on, the one where you get an aura reveal, like a lot of neat stuff he actually has in the kits that you can't really use because like the way that the survivors have adapted to the character means you pretty much just need to run increased speed so you don't die, right? So good, that's good for him. The chainsaw collision detection, I think it was a necessary tune-up on him because they just went and tuned Billy up, where now when Billy feels like he can slide off a lot more shit than he could previously. It's another reason why he's seen a rapid growth in player base. Again, because the fact that he can slide off more shit makes him a lot smoother. Again, even in the hands of console players. So I think that was a very necessary adjustment to go do for Bubba as well. So good for him. Good for him. That's good. Appreciate that. Shit slinger motherfuckers. We gonna go shoot them motherfuckers on the shit slinger, bro. Decreased stun time when a survivor breaks free to 2.7 was 3. Increased real speed to 2.76 was 2.6. Increased movement speed while reloading to 3.8 was 2.64. That's not that big of a buff. This isn't going to do much. Now again, every second does count, like they do say here in the dev note, but these are just tweaks. This is not. I highly doubt this is gonna feel really good. The exception might be the change one. I wish they would have adjusted his reloading speed pure, like that's like I wish they would have done that for him to reduce the reliance on the keys, and so he could actually run some of his other options like the decreased tear radius stuff. I don't even know if that's any good, but I don't know. They definitely could have went done a little more here. Maybe this is the start of something for him, but hopefully, I hope they're not done looking at him yet. Is the answer? Wesker, decreased the hindered penalty from infection to 4% was 8%. Infection is now reduced to 1% when hooked was 50. What the fuck? What the fuck, bro? Now, okay, listen. I skipped Wesker. If you recall, Wesker came out at a time where I was on a hiatus, so I didn't cover him. So, excuse me for not knowing this, but there was a hindered penalty when you have infection? What? Why does Wesker have so much? He doesn't need any hindered penalty. Assuming Hug Tech is still there, of course. But why does he need that? Why does he need that to begin with the way he can bounce off the walls and shit? I just don't understand why he gets everything and is allowed to keep stuff. Oh, well. It's assuming his Hug Tech is in, no matter what they do to him, he's fine. Blight. Compound 33 increased rush turn rate and duration by 11 About increased turn rush rate. Oh, okay, so you can increase the turn rate. Turn speed for iridescent blight tag. Now increased rush speed by 10% was 20. So that got a nerf. Both the Blight's ultra rare add-ons have proven to be too strong, so we've toned them down to a more reasonable level. I'm not the guy to ask about Blight stuff. So I'm assuming these are going to be fails, like everything they do with Blight. Change. Increased toolbox sabo speed across variants. Oh, good. Increased effects of sabotage-related add-ons for grip wrench, cutting wire, and hacksaw. Excellent. Excellent, bro. That's so cool because sabotaging is already one of the most stupid and frustrating things to play against due to the fact that it takes advantage out of a mechanic in the game that's not good, and that's the hook RNG. The hook RNG in this game has needed relooked at for years. 4 years, bro. So when you have a Swift that understands that and can take advantage of that, especially when they stack those fucking offerings to bring in the fucking, the Oaks, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you can already have major problems against something like this. So, again, this is when you buff, this is the error of buffing for usage and usage alone. When you buff because usage isn't good, you can buff things that are already in a good spot. The way that Sabo is right now, here's what you don't want, okay? Sometimes you're in a situation where Saboing could be used to trade, where like there's one hook around, the guy's at full health, and they're like, and you're Saboing, so like you have to, like they're gonna get this hook. Your only option as the killer is to hit the guy twice, down them, and then the other guy breaks off, depending on his shit, right? Now, sometimes you can do that and then hook him, but I don't know if they're trying to stop that, but like, what you don't want to happen here is the situations where you only have one hook available to you because asshole went and cornered himself or something like that, and then the guy is able to like come out, get hit, Sabo, and dash away before you can hit him again because you're stuck in cooldown. That's what you don't want. That's what you don't want. Now, again, I'm not going to pretend Saboing is going to take over the meta or anything like that. I'm just saying that when it's there and it's actually run by people who know what they're doing with it, it can be, and I'm not talking about one guy Saboing a hook one time. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these fucking 4-man Swifts that, again, because these Swifts can do whatever they want. They fucking come in with 4 toolboxes, 4 toolboxes, 1 flashlight, shit like that. And their plan is to, like, use this mechanic. And again, it's not good. I must stress that, again, a Swift with 4 flashlights is more dangerous than a Swift with 4 toolboxes. Saboing is not as good as flashlighting. Mostly because flashlighting, you can just have angles like that where they can get you and there's nothing you can do about it. But again, that can happen with Saboing too, but it's less consistent. It's less consistent where a sabotage is going to get you and there's nothing you can do about it. Swift kind of bringing 4 toolboxes and forcing that consistency into play. I don't know, man. It's also countered by things like Eruption, where if they're on a gen right next to it, and you can like, you can hear them and can do continuous slug play. Slugging's also, again, better right now, so who knows? I don't know. I just don't want this mechanic to be overtuned. There's more danger for that than people realize. So hopefully it won't be, and I'm just worried about nothing. Here's where you get slammed with nerfs. Again, they never buff things. I've said this for years. They never buff things to challenge the meta. Ever. Ever. I don't understand this. Deadlock. Increased block duration to 15, 20, 25. They lowered it a tier. Not like the huge nerf in the biggest nerf in the world. Deadlock is already bad against Swift anyway, so there's no reason to really run it, and therefore no reason to complain about it. It's a bad against Survive with Friends. It stomps solos, and that's all it will continue to do, is stomp solos. Background player. This one's being talked about a lot. I hate background player only because background player looks like cheating. Like, it looks like cheating. It looks like something that shouldn't exist. It really does. Decreased movement speed bonus. So if you don't know, so like somebody, when the killer picks someone up, the survivor gets like a 200% speed boost. They can like do these insane saves now from halfway across the map. So they decreased the movement speed on it back down to 150, which is consistent with every other exhaustion perk in the game. I think it has extended duration from other exhaustion perks as well. I think so. I think it's 6 seconds, right? I don't know. I think it has extended duration. But they also decreased the exhaustion on it down to 20 from 40, so they halved the exhaustion on it. That was fucking questionable. Background players' high movement speed allowed survivors to cross extreme distances to make a save. There was no way for the killer to reasonably check the area, let alone defend it. So we have reduced the movement speed and reduced the exhaustion to compensate. This will make it harder to get a save, but allow you to make attempts more often. I don't understand why survivors need to always get a buff on top of a nerf. Where it's killers, it's the other way around. We get nerfs on top of buffs. They get buffs on top of nerfs. That's why killers get frustrated with this game. Because they did the right nerf here. Get rid of the exhaustion, the bonus exhaustion, and bring it down to the consistent level with the other perks. That was the right adjustment. Then they said, man, the survivors also should be able to get more chances since it's not as good. Yeah, you should get more chances. So let's reduce the exhaustion to 20 seconds, man. Like, excuse me? Like, why? Why? I don't fucking get it. So, am I worried about this perk? I am hoping that the movement speed nerf will be enough to make it so the perk will be bad and not see any play. That's the goal here. The 20 seconds of exhaustion, though, what can they do with Vigil with it? Somebody look that up. What they can do if they run Vigil with the 20-second exhaustion. But I am hoping that this will tone this perk down enough to where it's very easily defendable and you won't have to fucking worry about seeing it anymore. Now again, I don't know if PTB's already up. I haven't seen anything yet because again, job. But we'll see with this one. I am in the middle. I am seeing very inconsistent analysis where some people are thinking it's going to be better now because they did this. If I had to guess right now, I would have to say, again, I haven't seen background player too much. When I have, I've only had like a couple players actually, they've been good enough to make the plays with it. But again, the past couple months, the matchmaking has been in disarray more than usual due to the fact that the rubber banding was there, so you were getting a lot of inconsistency. My hot take is I don't think Swift needs this, and that I don't think they need this to make saves anyway. So, I think you're giving them a tool they don't really need. But we'll see with that one. Grim Embrace, decrease the block duration 6, 8, 10 seconds. Lower the block duration by 2 seconds when you hook in a unique survivor. Why? You still get the other block when you hook everybody. And again, that's not a worth it price. Do you know how fast this game goes? Grim Embrace is quickly receiving both strength and popularity since it was changed. Well, do you know how fast this game goes? Do you know how fast good survivors get the gens done? You're not hooking everybody if they're good. You're not hooking everybody, bro. You know how many times my gen defense build with Pain Rezo, which is dedicated to chasing in as many people as possible and not tunneling, only hooks 2 guys before the game is realistically over and I've already won. You're not hooking every person, bro. Unless you're trying to. Grim Embrace is not good. I will continue to say that. It is not a good perk. So I don't care that it was nerfed. Because it's not good. And again, the nerf is 2 seconds. If you're running Grim Embrace, that 2 seconds isn't going to kill you. DS. Reduce the stun duration to 4 seconds was 5 seconds. That's what it fucking should have been in the fucking first place. The fucking shit should have immediately went live with 4 seconds because that's what it was in the PTB due to the stun animation. I do not know why they even released it with 5 seconds. That initial drop should have been you get 4 seconds because that's what was in the PTB. The good news is 4 seconds, that extra second's going to matter when you're trying to tunnel somebody out. So tunneling is back on the menu, I guess, boys. You can tunnel pretty much again because 4 second DS probably won't save garbage. 5 seconds was too much. Again, that's 4.6 meters. That's 4 meters of distance that they get on you. Instead of saying 1 second, It's 4 meters of distance. When they stunned you with 5 seconds, they get 8 meters. They get 8 meters of distance. They can make shit. They can still probably make something like 8. So think about a total DS with 5 seconds, 8 meters. They 8 DS with 5 seconds. They could get 40 meters. Now they get 32, up from 24. So the 20 instead of 20 again. So and you move assuming you're 115, you move 4.6 meters per second. I mean, they can still get distance on you, but anything helps. If they hit you on one side of the map, they should not be, if they hit you on the opposite side of the map to the Killer Shack, they shouldn't be able to chain the Killer Shack to it, and that's what DS lets them do right now with 5 seconds. So, again, DS, is a stupid way to fix tunneling to begin with. That's why this perk should have never been buffed. Because it inconsistently affects the roster. It has an inconsistent roster affection. If you're smart at the game, you understand that. DS, Freddy getting Decisive Striked hurts Freddy way more than Spirit getting DS'd. Spirit getting DS doesn't give a shit. She'll be back on your ass in 2 seconds. Nurse will be back on your ass in 2 seconds. Blight will be back on your ass in 2 seconds. Twins, if they get DS, Victor will be back on your ass in 2 seconds. Especially if you're assuming you got down by Victor. Twins will be back on your ass in 2 seconds. So, these good characters don't give a fuck about getting DS'd. No matter a 5 second duration. If Ghostface gets DS'd, he just lost the match. If he gets DS'd. Game is over if Ghostface loses it down. Very uncreative way of fixing tunneling to begin with. And of course now survivors are bitching. Why would you buff DS? You instantly nerf it, man. The original intent was for the fucking shit to have 4 seconds, and it should have came in the game with 4 seconds. The change would have been better received if it came into the game getting as a buff. Your DS is getting buffed. You get an extra second. They would have been much more okay with that. Now that you gave them the drug of 5 second DS again, now they're bitching at you because you're instantly taking that away. They remembered how broken the shit was. And so you instantly took it away from them. And now they're mad at you. It should have came in with 4 seconds. Like it was scheduled to. You fucking morons. Like you make this easy on the community to yell at you. You make it so easy for the community to yell at you. Whereas before, when I was, listen, here is the thing. When I was getting hit with DSs when it was 3 seconds, I could easily say, I could be stunned an extra second and it would be all right. I believe I said that on stream multiple times. Now I'm conditioned to 5 second DS again, where it feels like hell. Now I don't know if an extra second is going to be enough. Right? Why didn't you put the change in when I was conditioned as the killer to think DS was okay and you could give it that change? Now I think DS is miserable again because I've been stunned for 5 seconds again. Now I want it back down to 3. Do you see how that works? You see, why? It's conditioning, bro. Now again, maybe 4 seconds will still be fine, and once it goes in, I'll be yeah, this is a lot better. But again, these couple weeks where I'm waiting for it, I wish that said 3 again. I really do. Pop. Decreased regression effect to 20% was 30%. Here's where we're going to talk about top tiers. Fucking Pop Goes the Weasel is proven to be strong, and the conditions to activate it aren't very difficult. Hooking a survivor is the hardest thing to do in the game. You have to down somebody. What do you mean the activation condition isn't hard? Have you played somebody good as fucking Freddy Krueger? What the fuck do you mean the activation condition isn't good? There are games against good teams where you can go pretty much hookless. What the fuck do you mean the activation condition isn't hard? It's fucking easy if you're playing babies. To better reflect how often it comes into play, we've reduced the strength of the regression effect. Trash. Killer is in a state right now where if you watched my last stream where the matchmaking sorted itself back out, we played a lot of fucking good teams. Everybody, if you recall. And we ended up switching to Wage's endgame build because the regression build wasn't working. We weren't downing people enough because they were good. and the inherent advantage that Survivor has over Killer in the game. We weren't downing very much. Turns out Nemesis is bad and can't get many downs. That's what it turns out. It turns out some of these killers have to make good with 1, 2, or 3 downs. And this is where I'm going to talk about the disconnect by people that play top tiers versus people that actually play the roster. Because fucking J-Man comes in my server. I love J-Man. I love you. Sorry. He comes in my server, goes, the pop change is fine, man. The pop change is fine. I don't see any problem with it. If you recall, man, everybody, when Pop was dead, when it was at this percentage, by the way, when it was at 20%, nobody ran it, right? Nobody ran Pop Goes the Weasel when it was at this value. Not one person ran that shit. Except for some people that clung to top tiers. Some people that played top tiers said the perk was underrated because they played top tiers. So so like when you play top tiers, what does that do for you? It gives you more consistent activation on Pop Goes the Weasel, more pressure overall. So the value it gets is bigger in a match. It's because you're making the survivors rotate more often. You're getting them off gens more often. Everything good about Pop is happening more often when you play a fucking top tier. It's in the game more. You're getting more value. You're getting more pressure. The problem is that gen regression doesn't really add to the pressure that your killer has normally, right? So when the difference is when Freddy Krueger would come over and smack a gen with Pop Goes the Weasel, it wouldn't do shit for him. Especially at that value. Freddy needs as much regression as he can get in that single event. Because the regression is going to stop very quickly because it's very easy for survivors to maintain control of the match against Freddy. And against Ghostface. And against Myers. And against these shit characters like Trapper. It's very easy for them to maintain control of the game. So if you fucking play top tiers, you're going, yeah, the change isn't that bad, man. Because they ran it at 20% and thought it was fine. Whereas what you, the Trapper connoisseur, knew it was useless. And that's why you didn't run it. That's the issue. That's the issue. And like, again, the solution of this, again, has always been to focus your nerfs, focus this nerf brigade spree on the top tier characters. If Spirit's still overpowered, keep nerfing her. When Spirit hits you, her power should go on cooldown. When fucking Blight hits you, his power should go on cooldown. Right? If these characters are not in line with the roster, nerf them. Don't nerf the healthy shit. Everybody wanted Pop back. Everybody. When Pop was worthless, when it was at this percentage, every single person wanted Pop back. Killer already needs a 4v1 buff. I said that on my stream yesterday, whatever the last time my stream was. The role needs a 4v1 buff desperately. With full power Scourge Pain Reso. If you're playing people good, you understand that Killer needs a 4v1 buff. This is a 4v1 nerf, and we're not even done yet. Your gen control builds are being nerfed, bro. And again, they're not dead. Pop is going to be replaced with Eruption, and now Corrupt is definitely what you run. Right? I don't know, maybe Surge and Eruption will be there together. I don't know. I kind of... Maybe you straight up even keep Pop if you're running full gen control because you're so conditioned to have it at this point. But like... Because I don't know. Like, what's better? Like, fucking... But again, it's not good anymore. It might just be necessary. There's a difference between necessary and good. Where if you're running gen control at this point, like, I don't know what to tell you. You're not, like, maybe you run fucking Deadman Switch over Pop now. Like, maybe your gen control build looks like Deadman Switch. But again, not Grim Embrace. You're not Eruption. Eruption and Deadman's don't have the anti-synergy there. Maybe you run Deadmans on some killers. And maybe the build changes depending on what killer you are. But like, everybody wanted Pop to come back when it was bad. Because it was like that was especially back when tunneling was so like prominent, because it's like, I don't have enough 4v1 pressure to actually do anything. So I have to tunnel the guy. So there you go. And then they gave you pop back, and it's like now pain res and pop is a consistent core to actually stop gens when I get a momentum going. Now it's not as good. Now it's not as good, bro. And again, the cool thing about this new version was because it ended up being better than the version that was in the game before. I don't understand why they gave it a 10% nerf. They should know what number, because like what number should it have been, Rosie? But Rosie, man, what number should it have been? 25. What it was before you ever fucking nerfed it in the first place. When you changed pop, when you made a base progression event go up from 20 to 22.5 or whatever the fuck you did, right? Whenever the initial change killed it. You should have made it so when you do a full-powered pop goes the weasel, it is 25% like it was before. In fact, it should debatably have just been returned to that. 25%. 25%, bro. That's probably what it should have been returned to, especially with the new gen rules. 25% across all boards. That would have been good. I would have even taken if it was any gen that's above 50. Now, like the problem is the perk is absolutely worthless until gens are like super powerful and almost done, where you're going to lose them anyway. It's not as good at saving them anymore. Whereas if you could knock out like 33 charges, before like you could, that gen becomes savable again. 20 that whole 10 charges in like a full 10 seconds almost, right? 90 seconds. It's not. I don't think it's a full 10 seconds. It's close. It should have been what it was before when it was still usable. You don't want to lose pop. The devs have no idea how important this perk is to them, especially when you just nerf DS again. Because now tunneling is the better option again. I'm telling you, tunneling is the better option again. Tunnel builds. Run tunnel builds, bro. Like 4v1 again needs a buff, not a nerf. I can't you know what perk is laughing at these changes? Corrupt intervention, and that's bad. Corrupt intervention needs to be base kit in the game. We have not moved anywhere near that direction. Of 2 gens blocked for 60 seconds, and that's a base mechanic in the game. We haven't moved anywhere near that. Instead, your options to actually control the gens are getting worse, not better. Your builds are getting worse, not better, bro. And we'll skip buckle up for right now because we need to go right to pain reso to continue the theme. They're hitting pain reso. 10, 15, 20, 15, 20, 25. So pain res and pop both nerfed in the same patch, and they're both the same measly percent. Except pain reso has it worse. No, except pop has it worse because remember, pop's effect is based on what they already have. Whereas Pain Resos is a flat 20%. Pain Res is still the better perk, and again, probably that's still usable. The other good thing about these two perks is that they do trigger a regression event, which if you have a lot of pressure, like that percentage can still continue to tick up, right? Especially Pain Resos, since it's a distance proc, and if everyone's kind of occupied, they won't really know which one you got, right? These distance procs are better than not, because the communication is a little bit worse, where you're going to get more regression value. Whereas pop, they kind of know what you hit. So again, all more reason for pop to be actually higher than pain res. But they nerfed your shit, bro. They nerfed your stuff. They nerfed your meta build again. So, and again, so top tiers don't care is the long story short. Long story short is top tiers don't care, and they can easily still run gen control and be fine. Who can't run gen, like the more this shit hits everybody, it's the low tiers that suffer. It's the low tiers that suffer here. It's the low tiers that suffer. It's the low tiers that have to move to other stuff. The top tiers are not affected by these changes. And again, the solution to that is get rid of them. You know how much, why do I stay away from the top tier characters so much? Because they give you an inflated view of the game. That's the main reason why. They give you a perception of reality that is not there. They give you a perception of the game that isn't there. The fact that that people can think killer, like when people come in and they say killer compressor, and they play 2 killers, they play Spirit and Wesker, you have an inflated view of how much killer compressor. Now, you could say when you play only low tiers, you have a deflated view of how much killer and pressure. That's why I don't play just low tiers. I play mid. I play mid. The highest I'll touch is the 8s, that A tier. And I don't even play them very much. I played Blight off stream yesterday, and I was amazed with how quick the game was over. And I suck at Blight. I was amazed with how bad I won that game. And again, I suck at Blight in my MMR, and the confidence thing was probably not the greatest. But it's just amazing, bro. How the differences between the killers. I don't understand how fucking Blight, Nurse, and Spirit can have what they have, but fucking Chucky, we gotta delete Scampering because he's too good, man. It's bullshit. Nerf the fucking characters that deserve it. And don't fucking nerf Chucky. It's ridiculous. So, again, you know who's laughing right now? Wage. Because that fucking bill he's cooked up is gonna be what low tiers probably rotate to. I know he's been predicting it forever, but low tier killers, especially now that I've played it a lot more, are probably gonna rotate to that. There's no reason for a low tier to emulate a top tier anymore. Just to try to be a worse version of what the top tier does to pressure. When you get I fucking turned a complete loss as bitch boy to a win with that endgame build. Low tiers should probably be rotating to that. And again, I've heard y'all been telling me endgame is meta for years. I probably fucking believe it at this point. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous how much they're gonna push you to builds that rely on things like trickery and deceit. Because as much as I like running that endgame build, it capitalizes on the survivors thinking they're winning. In a tournament, who knows how, if they know that's what you run, they might play a little differently, you know? I don't know. Let's go ahead and move on, though. Buckle up. Buckle up no longer provides endurance. If Killers had something that was half as strong as this, it would have been deleted in a month. It would have been hot fixed out. They finally deleted that shit, bro. And the sad part is it's not even entirely dead. They can still do for the people made for this to give the guy on the ground endurance. But at least that is a rotational thing. And the guy is still injured. He just has 10 seconds of, a couple seconds of endurance. So the idea is at least it now has a function as a baton pass, which is actually good, by the way. The fact that both of them had endurance with Buckle Up was absolutely retarded and it should have never went live. That is a slap in the face, bro. Always was and should have never went live. Terrible game design from day one. And if Killers had anything like that, would have been bullshit. New, healed from the dying state, break into a sprint at 150% for 5 seconds. This does not cause exhaustion. So they didn't even fully remove what the idea is for the baton passing. They didn't even fully remove it. Because you could still do for the people Buckle Up and pass on the guy that's being tunneled, because that's what it is, or anybody for that matter. It's not even just a tunnel thing. It's a baton pass thing in general. You give them a free sprint burst. That's and survivors are angry about this. Survivors are angry about this. Like the park was destroyed and gutted. No, Pop Goes the Weasel was destroyed and gutted. This is fine and usable. It's ridiculous how when survivors get completely reasonable nerfs, they fucking complain about it. Whereas Killers get gutted and destroyed. Gen Control is destroyed. Pain Reso is still a good perk. Pop is not. Pop is dead. Invocation Weaving Spiders. Decreased the invocation time to 60, was 120. Invocation progress now regress at a rate of 1 charge per second. So, as we predicted, Invocation Weeping Spiders was fucking terrible. That perk was so bad, if other survivors... I've had matches where other survivors, if they saw that you were running Invocation Weeping Spiders, they would disconnect on the spot. That's how bad the perk was. Seriously. When because I ran my girlfriend a little bit, and I didn't run the perk because I knew the perk was bad. But, when you... I've had multiple games as Survivor where somebody went into the basement and started Invocation Weeping Spiders only to have a teammate of mine instantly disconnect because the perk is trash. Whatever activation they give this particular perk, I know it's gen charges, it's not going to mean as much, especially if low tiers rotate towards endgame. This is not going to help them. In fact, I think it'll probably still be a net loss overall. I think that's how catastrophically bad the perk was at 2 minutes. It might still just be a flat net loss. But so like this perk is not broken, but the base mechanic changes here might lead them to break something in the future, which I predict they will, because they always do, especially since everybody laughed at this perk. So the next one they put out is going to be like, don't laugh at our fucking mechanic, asshole. I could really see them breaking the next invocation perk, because we all laughed at this one. Borgo, reworked the lighting, good. A lot of stuff there. It's difficult to see scratch marks, auras, and pools of blood. I mean, that is true. I don't know why you make a red, like an orange to red themed map in the game to begin with. Absolutely horrible. So I'm glad that that's a lot darker now. Items. Reworked pop-ups for items. So survivors are now so babied that they get to, like, I don't understand how people say that killers are babied when survivors can literally read the item descriptions in the trial. You can read item descriptions in the trial now. Like, Survivor is made for retards. It literally is. Survivor is made and designed around people that have no skill. This is proof. You get item previews in a trial now, guys. Because that's how baby this role is. And they will still continue with the audacity to tell you that you're babied. And it's ridiculous. And that's everything. So overall, who wins the patch? As like I always like to do this. Which side benefits more from the patch? As much as we would like to yell and scream about the gen control build kind of being neutered, Killer wins the patch overall, in my honest opinion. That doesn't make the patch good. This patch sucks. This patch sucks and the game is now less fun for everybody. And not because they toned down balances, not because they turned down the right balancing, but like the game is worse now for everybody because they did this shit. They potentially accentuated bad things, made unnecessary nerfs, unnecessary changes, and I don't know. I can still see survivors claiming the game is more fun now. Because they didn't kill for the people, buckle up. They sure didn't. And now, but it's just the game is worse now because of this. It's insane. But admittedly, killers do win the patch. And you can say, Rosie, how can killers win the patch? Even though we got hit, or the main gen control method was killed. They nerfed background player, which presumably taking that perk out of commission. That perk is potentially taken out of commission for good. You might never see that perk again if the nerfs are good. And then the DS change, you're going to be able to tunnel garbage out with more consistency again. And then for the people buckle up, losing the endurance. Again, because remember, it does help them baton pass, but it's not a crippling anti-momentum thing where both players get it. You can still easily rotate to the person that did it and down them, right? Okay? And then, you can even still potentially continue to chase the other guy, even after you down them. So, like, there's ways to counterplay that. And there's an actual play that you have as killer. If somebody uses for the people buckle up, you down it. Like, you down the person that did it, and it doesn't kill your momentum. It does let them make a play, and it does potentially save the game still, depending on who they give it to. But you still have a play. And, like, when everybody's on death hook, like, the person that has for the people buckle up can't just run in and sack themselves, right? Like, they could, this new version is weaker. It's going to, hopefully it won't even be there anymore. So, there you go on that. There you go on that, bro. But again, because for the people like who wins the patch? Because for the people buckle up was so fucking bad for the game and so destructive and so brokenly powerful, like your gen regression nerfs look like babies compared to that. Now again, Pop is a dead perk and it is out of commission, but assuming that this buckle up change is as good as we want it to be, killers definitely win the patch. That still being said, the game is still shit. And it's not like killers won the patch by a lot. Killer is still worse than it is right now. Like, it's not that, like they just continue to, like, do the wrong changes. Because, again, it's not the idea that's wrong with this, toning down meta perks. Also, here's what this company also needs to accept. Some perks just need to be there. Like a scorch hook and a pop. So like sometimes it just needs to be there. That's why sometimes you just have to accept that it's good the way it is. Even though it has a high usage rate. It's healthy. Just because something has a high usage rate doesn't mean it's unhealthy. You got to find the difference between a buckle up and a pop goes the weasel. There you go. That's the final thing. This company has got to get better at finding the difference between pop goes the weasel and buckle up. Pop goes the weasel was a healthy meta perk that encouraged the killers to get as many different downs as possible to apply as many pops as possible. It made the 1v4 more consistent on play. Like, you will be able to 1v4 less teams now because pop is gone, which is the way everybody wants you to play. Until you have an option to play it, then they want that option gone. Right? Circle of life, circle of death. Buckle Up was an in-your-face, destructive anti-momentum perk that gave you no counterplay options and disregarded everything you did to lead up to its usage. And that's unhealthy garbage. Pop encouraged a very spread-out play style, which gave multiple people chances to interact with the killer, which they claim is what they want. And then they have a perk that encourages it, and it gets deleted. When it should have stayed the way it was. But that being said, since for the people Buckle Up was so broken, and like that was game ending, if you got hit by it, you win the patch. Even though it doesn't feel like you win because they nerfed down all your shit. Oh well. I'm getting the hell out of here, lads. GG's.